What does it take to lead with inclusivity and innovation? I'm Penny Lane. In the Driver's Seat starts now. Welcome to In the Driver's Seat, presented by the Perfect Cosmetics Company, where each episode we take you on a journey into the lives of industry trailblazers and entrepreneurs who've carved their own unique paths to success. Now, I'm honoured to introduce the next guest who truly exemplifies leadership and compassion. She's a powerhouse in the banking industry and a champion for diversity and inclusion. Please welcome the new CEO of Home Equity Bank, Katherine Dudtschak.
Hi Penny, how are you? It's great to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on the show. I am so looking forward to chatting to you. I've been reading lots of things about you, and I read an article that said to really know you, you have to go back 80 years. Now, you certainly don't look 80 to me. You look fantastic. Can you tell us what you mean by that?
We are all intersectional human beings, which means that we are made up of essence, ingredients we're born with that come from our parents' DNA. Some that are more spiritual would argue that we have a soul that we're born with. But, ultimately, what you're born with and the life experiences you have ultimately create this collection of skills, attributes, things that make each of us unique and beautiful. And to go back 80 years would bring you back to my parents' childhood and their upbringing during the Second World War. And when they immigrated to Canada from Germany, they brought with them the traumas of losing parents during the war, living apart from family during the war. My mother was a child refugee. My father was a Russian prisoner of war.
Wow.
And so they brought those experiences with them. And then you add to that my gender story and the fact that I'm likely neurodiverse. And I've got both a farm background and a corporate background. I've lived in a woman's world. I live in a woman's world. I've lived in a man's world. All of those collection of experiences and the things that are in my essence shape who I am as a human being. And it holds true for everybody.
You're really renowned for your kindness and your compassion. And you've brought that into the leadership style in everywhere that you've worked. How do you bring those values, or how do you plan to bring those values into your new role?
In a few ways. One is I've been to hell and back on my personal journey. And, like many people like me, I considered taking my life at the worst part of my journey.
Wow.
And so I've experienced some of the depths of, depression and mental health issues. And again, I can say I'm alive and free and full of love and faith like never before, but I've been to the dark side. I've also, because I came out so publicly in front of a workforce of 25,000 people that I was responsible for leading at the time, and I showed vulnerability, I received a level of love and kindness that was beyond anything I could have imagined. And I also had thousands of people open up to me about their own hurts and struggles.
Yeah.
Whether you're from the Black community, whether you're a woman, whether you're a white man, whether you're from India or Indigenous, I've had so many people open up to me, and I see that so many of us are held back by fears of judgment and rejection.
Yeah.
And I fundamentally believe and have committed to living a life of love and kindness. And I ultimately believe that when we lead with compassion and kindness and curiosity, what we create is psychological safety for others to be more of themselves and bring more of their truth to bear because they feel safe.
Yeah.
And then when we do that, we get more of what somebody can bring to their work or bring to the world and the problems that we face. So it's pretty simple for me. I try to show up every day as curious and kind and as compassionate, as well as being a business leader all at the same time. And, I've got perspectives on different aspects of leadership that I think are important to a truly sustainable world that I pledge to try to practice in my job every day as a CEO.
Well done, amazing. Yeah, I can really get that from you. You can feel that sincerity. Really, really inspiring. What specific diversity and inclusion strategies do you intend to implement at the Home Equity Bank?
Yeah, firstly, it starts with principles.
Yeah.
Diversity is a fact. Inclusivity is a choice.
Very different.
So, ensuring that we have on our leadership team and all levels of employment, a diverse workforce that mirrors society is factual. It's basic. And we will do that by hiring the best people, and really by getting to know the talent more deeply beyond education, beyond experience, but by getting to know the lived experiences of each person, just like you asked me about 80 years. But to me, that's the basics. What really matters is inclusivity. And inclusivity, an inclusive culture, is ultimately about creating an environment of psychological safety and belonging where employees feel what I believe is true inclusivity. There's 3 levels of inclusivity. One is, am I going to get in trouble with my boss if I make a mistake? Well, that's pretty basic. You better not. Mistakes are allowed. Number 2, if I have other needs in my life, like children or elder care, or a family member with a disability that I'm caring for, do I feel safe enough to share that with my boss and my company so that I can integrate my personal life and my work life more naturally and be happier balancing life? And then the 3rd level is, does my company really want to get to know the whole me?
Yeah. Okay.
And what I mean by whole me is it may be, it may be, in my case, my gender or am I LGBT, but it's more than that. It's, does my company want me to bring not just my intellectual brain to work, but do they want me to bring my emotional brain to work, my heart to work? Do they want me to bring my creative elements to work? And, the workplace of the future is one where people can bring all of themselves, all of their creativity, all of their emotional ability, all of their intellectual ability. And that, to me, is true inclusivity. And we are already beginning to talk at my new company about how do we create an environment where we get to know more of the whole person and encourage them to bring more of those ideas and creativity into the workplace to help us solve problems and to help us make a difference in the life of our clients and a difference in society, and to create more of a socially and economically inclusive society. So that's the path that we're on.
Yeah, I think you're going to change a lot of lives at the Home Equity Bank for the positive. I think you really are going to make a difference there. Now, given your extraordinary career path, what do you have? What advice do you have for other C-suite leaders that are keen to develop a stronger social purpose in their organisations? Because you've had this really interesting journey, but for people that haven't, how can they implement some of your strategies?
A couple. Number 1, as a CEO or a C-suite leader, dedicate a good percentage of time to what I call kind curiosity. spend time being kind and curious with clients, with suppliers, and with employees at all levels. Kind curiosity about their life, their journey, what challenges they're facing, what stresses they're facing. The more time we spend as leaders being kind and curious with all the people around us, right through to your customer, to your frontline employee, the more your heart will grow and the more you will be able to empathize and understand the problems you're really trying to solve for through your company.
Very interesting. Thank you.
And then the other is practice meditation, practice mindfulness, and begin to go on a spiritual journey. And whether you call it a spiritual journey or you just call it a mental wellness and a mindfulness journey, I don't really care what language you call it. But the more leaders spend time calming their mind, calming, their need to fix things and solve problems quickly, the more they'll be present and the more you'll be open-hearted, the more calm you will be and able to guide your team to better and more holistic solutions. And the more you will do it in a way that is empathic to the societal problems and the societal needs and the customer needs you're trying to solve for.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. I could go on talking to you for ages. Thank you so much for being on the show, and real inspiration. Thank you so much, Katie Dudtschak.
Take care. Thanks a lot, Penny. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for watching. This has been In the Driver's Seat with Penny Lane. Join me next time to learn more from industry legends about how you can take the wheel and steer your life in the right direction.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.